National Invitationals as we check out what you guys are looking forward to today. Match number one, perfect set Dreammakers against St. John's Institute, followed by Pusang Azul going up against One Lasa. Later on in the second half, University of Santa Tomas against Pacific Volleyball Academy. And to cap us off, Arellano University High School. For perfect set Dreammakers is our last game for today. SSL fans, in case you missed it, we have two divisions for this year's Shakey Super League National Invitationals: Rising Stars, Elite Talent, Global Stage. The juniors division will be until July 18, followed by the collegiate division that will start on July 19 to July 26. So buy your tickets at smtickets.com now and see you at the games. We hope you guys are seeing each other here at the games, and of course, we want to get in on the action. If you're at home, you can catch the Shakey Super League National Invitationals live and free on pusop.com. Join the community now. You can also watch on Shakey Super League Facebook page, on TV, at Solar Sports, and at Shakey's restaurants nationwide. And that was Quick Set powered by Smart Power All 109. It's a beautiful day for our rising stars here in the Playtime Fill Oil Arena. But time is ticking as we are at day 3 of 7 here in the Shakey Super League Juniors National Invitationals. You guys are so excited to catch us if we start us off with our first match of the day. That's perfect set Dreammakers against St. John's Institute. Two teams at opposite ends of the spectrum for our tournament. It's a short tournament, so I hope you guys have been watching throughout the start. Yanni Mai is here along with Richie Cordero. Now, Richie, we've seen all of the teams, we've seen what they can do, but it's now down to business because they need to rack up the wins.
Exactly. Every game is critical here, and today will be a test of character for both of our teams. It will definitely be a challenge, but the girls from Perfect Set Dreammakers have their heart set on giving it their all, while SJI continues to push for their flawless record to continue.
Now, to give everyone context, because we've been saying that it's David and Goliath math today, let's head on over to see where our favorite teams are at. Shorter format means every point counts, Richie.
Exactly. So for our two teams, Juan Lasal and Arellano High School, University High School rather, have 2 wins and 1 loss each, while University of Santo Tomas and St. John's Institute have flawless records here. So 2 wins and no losses, all with 4 points. It's a very short tournament, only one round of round robin, and then diretso na tayo sa knockout semifinals. So it really requires consistency, mastery of skill, and maturity the longer they stay here for the run in the Shakey's National Invitationals.
Now that we are going to witness 4 matches today, these are the 4 teams that who will shake up our team standings. But let's head on over to our first team of the day, of course, in our first match. That's Perfect Set Dreammakers against St. John's Institute. Perfect Set Dreammakers. They have lost against University of Santo Tomas in their last game. What do you think about that, and how do you think you're going to bounce back in this tournament?
Even though they did fall short in straight sets, 15 to 25 and 18 to 25, they still really had a good game. So they had 11 spikes, 4 service aces. So pumantay din sila sa stats ng UST. So, you know, UST is a very formidable team and they really do look up to them interviewing, of
Hailing
course,
from
their
California,
CEO from a
presenting
while ago. They
Team
say it's
Red
really
on
great
the purple
exposure
set,
and that's
Dreammakers.
the kind of
Beginning with
thinking that they
player
have, that
number 1,
motivation that
Hannah
they're learning every
Reyes.
step of
Number
the way.
3,
And
Victoria
this is really the
Anderson.
perfect stage for
Number
them to
5,
continue to
Naomi
grow as
Barbosa.
players.
Number
Now,
7,
this California
Samantha
based squad
Higa.
is wanting to
Number
show their
8, team
prowess, but
captain,
of course, their
Winston
team captain is
Malala.
at the
Number
helm. My
9,
goodness.
Ina
Of course,
Villalobos.
Nismon
Number
Manala,
11,
she has been
Caitlin
showing the
Callahan.
spark for
Number
this California
16,
based squad,
Evelyn
Richie.
Liao.
Exactly.
Number
You know,
18,
Manala really led
Juliana
her team
Perez.
in
Number
her previous
21,
game yesterday.
Maya
They had two
Barrera.
games, and
And number
both games
24,
really
Elvira
performed well. She
Abellanosa.
had 6 points, 6 attack points on their first game, and against University of Santo Tomas in their second game, she had another 6 points, 4 coming from attacks and 2 aces. And those attacks actually from their previous games were points that really mattered because it was points that struck when you needed it, when you needed to break the momentum that UST was making in their second game.
Team high of 6 points, Nismod Manalad, our player in focus. It's presented by pusopia.com. Join now for free. As we mentioned a while ago, two different narratives for these two different squads. One with a two-game win streak. Let's head on over to SJI and talk about what happened in their previous matches. SJI really showing their strength in this juniors ranks, Richie.
You know, SJI is really known to be a very dominating team when it comes to their powerful attackers. But yesterday, we really saw the showcase of all of their players really giving it their all and actually contributing. And even if we had one player that shined, Carousel, everyone was helping out. We had a number from Feral also and different players. We had 27 amazing attack points coming from them, really limiting the performance of their other team, Pusong Azul from their previous game. And we had 11 strong service aces coming from them. So that is something that we are looking for to be continued here in today's game.
And we're so excited to see Kyra Celis as well. But as you mentioned a while ago, there are so many people to choose from in SJI. Let's zoom in into Kyra Celis. She has a double performance. This girl is such a powerhouse for the SJI unit, and it's just been showing us that she can already reach the next level of play.
You know, she has become one of the most unstoppable players that whenever she is set up by her setters, more often than not, it really does find its way to the floor and turn into a point. Versus Juan Lasal, she had 13 points, 11 of them coming from attacks and 2 service aces, while versus specific versus Pusong Azul rather, she had 16 points, 12 coming from attacks and 2 service aces.
Kyra Celis, of course, we get to witness her here, but she's also going to go into the Alas Pilipinas still as she was chosen to be part of the newest lineup. And that's what's great about being here in the Shakey Juniors League. We get to see all of the players before they even step into the international ranks. So a team with a combined of 2 win streak behind them. And another team hungry for their first win. We're going to see who will come out on top. But stay right here as we bring you first serve in just a bit.
Number 13, Sophie Pamplona.
Number 14, Athena Magbanwa. Number 15, Martina Ferrer.
Lapit mga katropa, may mga biyayang darating. Ikaw, hindi ka makapili ng platform, pero mahahanap mo naman ang For You. Iba-ibang saya, iba-ibang biyaya. Ikaw, meron ding For You po.
F2 Logistics. We'll climb mountains and cross oceans to make sure we move your cargo as fast and safe as possible, because your cargo is our business. F2 Logistics. Let's move now.
New Smart Power All. Choose your Unli and your 5 gig app bundle so you can binge, game, or share it all. Plus 10 gig for all apps and 4 gig of 5G data. Power your next side quest with Smart Power All.
Introducing our officials for this match. First, referee Lawrence Unida. Second, referee Jay Deriquito. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Playtime Philoil Center in San Juan. This is the Shakey Super League 2026 National Invitationals. This is match number 10 of the preliminary round between the Perfect Set Dreammakers and their challengers across the court, St. John's Institute. And now let us meet the starters. First, for the Perfect Set Dreammakers. Beginning with their team captain, outside hitter number 8, Niceman Manala. Another outside hitter number 3, Victoria Anderson. Middle blocker number 5, Naomi Barbosa. Setter number 9, Nina Villawokin. Another middle blocker, number 11, Caitlin Callahan. Opposite hitter, number 21, Maya Barrera. Starting libero is number 1, Hannah Reyes. And the head coach of Perfect Set, Henry Valiente Jr. And now prepare to meet the starters for St. John's Institute. Beginning with their team captain, outside hitter number 23, Keira Silis. Another outside hitter number 2, Cristel Mirasol. Opposite hitter number 7, Cara Feril. Middle blocker number 14, Athena Magbanwa. Setter number 16, Luis Geraldizo. Another middle blocker number 20, Karil Escultura. Starting libero is number 18, Sam Young. And the head coach of St. John's Institute, Coach Ralph Joren Savillano.
This is the Shakey Super League 2026
Shakey Super League Juniors National Invitationals as we start us off with our starting lineup. Joaquin, Barbosa, Callahan, Anderson, Manalad, Barrera, Reyes for Perfect Set Dreammakers. And we head on over to St. John's Institute. Geraldizo, Escultura, Magbanwa, Celis, Mirasol, Ferril, and De Young for Coach Ralph and Coach Henry. Again, the two teams that have different narratives as we start off day 3 of 7 days of action, juniors action. Yanni Mayo here along with Richie Cordero, and this is the time for Perfect Set Dreammakers to really show what they're capable of. Of course, a team coming from California, whereas St. John's Institute wants to stay dominant and on top of our team standings. This set is brought to you by Shakey Super Delivery. Order your favorite thin crust pizza and chicken and mojos now. St. John's Institute has it. Cross-court attack, and Kayla Celis really introduces herself to us.
Just as expected, Kara Celis is someone to really open a game up with a lot of power, and that's exactly what we're seeing here. In their previous game yesterday, it was such a strong start from all of their players, so today is a really good matchup.
Geraldino, 1-0, and up by Perfect Set. They send it over. Free ball here for St. John's Institute. They're able to make away as Perfect Set will have it. Oh, little help from the net there for the girls in white.
Barrera with an opposite attack and also aiming cross-court with a little help coming from the net. Let's see that. Once again, it was a really wide set and she was still able to adjust and get that ball over.
Callahan with that service. And up a tip. The blockers were there. Ball is still in play. St. John's Institute will answer back here. Down the line, a chase by Perfect Set Dreammakers. Play slows down. A push, and the Perfect Set Dreammakers has this opportunity as St. John's Institute will choose to try to stop this really long rally. They choose the left side for St. Perfect Set finally gets the second point here.
Team captain Manalad, of course, also our player in focus for Perfect Set Dreammakers, is a girl you can count on when you want to break momentum, and that's exactly what she's doing.
Callahan will continue this service. Whoa, quick set and attack, and they were able to make away.
Escultura, exactly. Another girl who had a really great game yesterday, this time with a higher quick attack, just enough to get it over the blocker's hands.
Anderson with that hustle though, but of course St. John's Institute will bring us to a 2-point deadlock. Celis. Oh, that's too strong.
First service error of the game. So, of course, in the first set, we're also expecting a little bit of adjustment. So, we'll see how that will play out.
Perfect Set with this 1-point lead. Barrera. Oh, a chase. A bump there. They were able to make away. And up here as Perfect set sends it over, but that is too strong as
Point
well.
for St. John's Institute.
3 points for both of our squads. Been neck and neck early on here in the first game of the day. Escultura will put this ball in play. And a service ace, the first one.
Such great celebration coming from the girls in blue. That's Escultura for the service game.
The serve of the game is brought to you by Shakey's. Order your favorite thin crust pizza and chicken and mojos now. She'll continue to serve here, hoping for another service ace, and she does it.
Back-to-back service aces for Escultura. A while ago, we saw her attacking, and this time, kinakargahan niya naman yung service niya. So it's good that she's contributing in the front side of the court and
And
also the
Escultura
service
to
line.
serve again.
5-3. St. John's Institute with that save. An up attack from the back for Celis.
That goes out.
That one goes out once again. Team captain Nismud Manalad on deck as they try to
Captain, nice
tie
set,
this
Manala.
ball game.
Lower set there for St. John's Academy. Institute, rather.
Oh, right over the double block.
Mirasol.
First point for Mirasol, and Mirasol is not a new name here in the juniors division. She has been one of the most dominant attackers, and we were kind of missing her in her previous game. She only scored 1 point, so we're yet to see more of her in today's game.
Perfect set. Cross-court attack.
Victoria
Perfect
Anderson.
placement here for Anderson. Also her first point in today's game. You know, it wasn't the strongest and the sharpest of
Right.
attacks, but it was also difficult to read whether it was going in or out.
Service area.
Good placement there for Anderson. So they're trying to catch up to this 1 point deficit. Left side attack down the line, a chase by Perfect Set, and St. John's say that they will not have a deadlock right now.
2 points already coming from Mirasol on the open side of the court, and both of them were actually just drops and placement shots.
To serve, Lisette Mirasol.
7-5 Mirasol for this service. Perfect Set will go to Anderson. St. John's on the other side. Oh, slower attack there for Anderson. Trying to vary it up here and confuse St. John's. Almost a point for St. John's. But Perfect Set stays on top. They have a chance with this sequence. Good coverage here by St. John's. Free ball for the girls in white. Anderson with an up, but that goes straight to the net.
Point for
That was our
SJI.
longest rally so far. It was very unfortunate that it ended with an error, but also breaking the momentum that, of course, Perfect Set Dreammakers was making.
Of course, we'll head on over to this technical timeout. We'll be back with more action, 8-5.
Lapit mga katropa, may mga biyayang darating. Ikaw, hindi ka makapili ng platform, pero mahahanap mo naman ang For You. Iba-ibang saya, iba-ibang biyaya. Ikaw, meron ding For You po.
New Smart Power All. Choose your Unli and your 5 gig app bundle so you can binge, game, or share it all. Plus 10 gig for all apps and 4 gig of 5G data. Power your next side quest with Smart Power All.
St. John's Institute with this 3-point lead as Mirasol will continue to serve after this technical timeout. Against Perfect Set Dreammakers in our first game of the day, but that one sails outside. Anderson this time will still have to find the confidence and the consistency in this match.
Exactly. I think she was targeting the same placement from her previous point.
Serving 5.
9-5. Mirasol doing great here at the service. And as I say it, she'll get another service ace.
You're lucky. You're the lucky charm. That's already their third service ace and a third point also for Mirasol. So already a better game for her, and it's only the first part of our first set.
10-5 now. A chase here by Perfect Set and another one. Mirasol is on fire, and at this point, St. John's Institute wants to keep her in that service line.
Timeout. Perfect
But
set.
because of this
Dreammakers.
heat check, we'll go on over to this timeout. It's 11-5 here, courtesy of Perfect Set, and let's listen in.
Because that's exactly what we want you guys to do, right? As the ball goes over, we're serving. We're just passing a 20-foot ball in the air in area 7 or area 3. That's it. It's not perfect, just height and location. Okay? Starts with that pass, then we can go with our offense. You got the small blocker there, so make sure you hit that high line. Okay, here we go.
Coach Henry Valiente is emphasizing, well, of course, they do have a taller lineup, while that huddle was powered by Smart Power All 109. Load now. Perfect Set Dreammakers average 168 centimeters, whereas St. John's Institute 165 cm. Perfect Set wants to capitalize on their height compared to St. John's Institute. We have 4 service aces. Mirasol. But that one ends that streak, and Perfect Set will get another point here and end the drought.
And that's exactly what Coach Henry was actually advising his girls, to know where to place the balls and to get that first ball delivered to their setter first, so that they can produce those plays that will be effective for them. And I guess it turned out very well that they broke the momentum St. John's was making.
11-6, St. John's on top, and they'll bring that up to 12 here. Magbanwa, and what we mentioned also in the pregame is St. John's Institute has such a deep lineup that you can't even predict who they can send it to, and all of them are ready to score, not just Celis. They can still send it to Celis, but they have other people that they can rely on.
Exactly. A lot of the players here are being activated, and I guess that's also coming from the trust of the setter to her attackers, really giving them all the confidence to make points individually. Fifth service ace there for St. John's Institute from Magbanua this time.
Oh, I love to see that the service aces are piling up here, but I also want to commend the hustle of Perfect Set. They're really trying to create the floor defense that they're... One of the goals that they have here actually in the tournament is to learn from the floor defense of Philippine teams. And
Actually, I think it's more of their service reception they would have to adjust in today's game, because of the heavy serves that St. John's Institute is creating. But a while ago, yung pumapalo yung St. John's, nasasalo nila, natataas nila. It's really just the finish that they have to adjust more on.
Reyes sends that over. St. John's attack from the back, off speed hit. Good save there by Anderson. St. John's will choose Celis from the left side, cross court hit, and when Celis wills it, she will stop a rally.
Exactly, and especially if she's on the front line, maaasahan mo talaga tong batang to. And you've seen her potential and you've seen her grow these past few years, and she's really remained consistently growing into such an amazing player.
Magbana will continue to serve, and you see Celis on your screens, of course, an MVP as well in their previous tournament outings. Anderson with a hesitation, but she goes up for it, and that will pay off for her.
Attack from Victoria.
Anderson, a while ago, we saw her attacking from the open side of the court, and this time from the opposite side. So it's really nice that she really adjusts to whichever position she's given to, or whichever role.
She'll serve now for Perfect Set. 7-14 is our score. Quick up. And the power through that double block for Escultura.
Already on her 4th point in today's match. So we really see everyone's points are well distributed when it comes to St. John's Institute. And it really shows how well-oiled of a machine they already are, given that they have so many years of experience together and training as well.
8-point lead here. SJI on top, but perfect set answers back, and they're not. Oh, that will go to St. John's Institute.
I think there was a net touch violation called.
Let's check it out in a closer angle.
Oh, she touched the black part of the net.
And because of that, we head on over to our second technical timeout, 16-7.
New Smart Power All. Choose your Unli and your 5 gig app bundle so you can binge, game, or share it all. Plus 10 gig for all apps and 4 gig of 5G data. Power your next side quest with Smart Power All.
Lapit mga katropa, may mga biyayang darating. Ikaw, hindi ka makapili ng platform, pero mahahanap mo naman ang For You. Iba-ibang saya, iba-ibang biyaya. Ikaw, meron ding For You po.
Now to number 7, Samantha Ginga.
Gerald Dizo goes back on the service, and nakikita natin ang perfect set ngayon. Substitutions on their way. Liao inside. And we'll see if ito yung magiging spark plug ng perfect set Dreammakers. Kailangan nila ito. They are trying to chase the 16-7 score right now. Gerald Dizo. Reyes with that up. And they found an opening in the backside of St. John's Institute.
You know, I think what's working so far for Perfect Set Dreammakers is really targeting those deep ends of the court, mapa cross court man yan, or really at the backside.
Correcting myself, that was Abellanosa is the libero of Perfect Set, but that service goes right to the net, and we see Reyes now coming in. 17-8 is our score. Celeste team captain to put this ball in play. Oh, that one sails out again, Celeste.
That's already her second service error, so already on the second rotation as well.
First, we see the dominance of St. John's Institute. Pero sa'yo, Richie, ano nakikita mong ginagawa ng Perfect Set Dreammakers na they have to maintain or they have to improve?
You know, I think coming from the 2 games they had yesterday, they had more time to rest and adjust. When I spoke to their CEO a while ago, there was really a factor of being tired and jet lag. So this is a good opportunity for them because they got the feel of the court. They saw how the players played. So when they recollected themselves, now they're more confident inside the court. And that's what we're seeing here right now. Actually, we're seeing more floor movement, more defense coming from them, and more intention as well. Exactly with that kind of placement. Seeing that she had blockers in front of her, Barbosa really just planted that ball right in front. One hand set also.
Right. By Liao, I was just going to comment on that. The timing is perfect for that sequence. 18-10 is our score. St. John's Institute with that combination play, but that ball is still up. Perfect set with the floor defense a while ago. They'll try again with Anderson. Powers through that double block. St. John's Institute, mukhang may miscommunication, mistiming at their part.
You know, I think the free balls or the saves that Perfect Set Dreammakers made, medyo nagulat din dito ang St. John's Institute. That's why they weren't able to establish their positions as quick as they wished for.
Manalad ngayon para sa service. 7 points, but they give another point to St. John's Institute now with how St. John is playing right now. Perfect set. They need to avoid all of the errors, avoid all of the points that they're giving away, especially as we enter itong latter part na ng set na to.
Exactly. You do not want to give complacency and confidence to St. John's. And as much as possible, if you're trying to build momentum, you want to keep it. But this point will be awarded to St. John's Institute after that attack error from Anderson.
20 to 11. Let's head on over to this timeout and listen in.
Hey, once again, right? Find that corner. If you are hitting a ball on the pins, what kind of defense are they running? A rotation defense. You got that middle of the court. You got to kill by going over and in the middle. Area 6 is open all the time. Got it? Here we go. Come on.
That huddle was powered by Smart Power All 109 Load Now. And Richie, what I love about Coach Henry Valiente's huddles is he's so precise and exact with instruction. Because, you know, sometimes at this level, coaches give more confidence, more emotional support. But with Coach Henry, he's really telling the players kung
The
saan sila
strategy.
nagkukulang. Yeah, exactly,
Yes.
exactly.
You know, I think Coach Henry, he's the type of coach who really is very observant with how his opponents are playing. That's why it's also different kasi when you're playing inside the court and when you're watching it from an outsider's point of view, you really get to see what you can adjust. And exactly, that's the kind of execution you want coming from a timeout, that it's very fast and reliable.
Barbosa to thank for that one. And what I've observed after the timeouts where we are able to listen into Coach Henry, the players are able to absorb instruction right away. So we want to see them continuously apply the instructions throughout the entire sequence as we check out perfect set right now. Anderson again down the line, and that is good.
Same instruction actually that Coach Henry was telling the girls. He was instructing them to find those deep and far corners of the court.
That Smart Powered Up play was brought to you by the new Smart Power All 109 Load Now. And that's what we mentioned, that Coach Henry is so exact that the players now just have to absorb and apply.
Exactly. And you have to commend the Perfect Set Dreammakers as well. They've only been together for a few months. They were invited by Doc Ian this April, so they had really short time. They had a really short time to really bond together as a team, and their connection right now is incredible, especially after that point at long rally, ended by Anderson once again.
With the hustle, but of course the rest of the squad of Perfect Set role playing and making this run possible for them.
Exactly. You know what I like about Perfect Set Dreammakers is that even if lamang na yung kalaban nila, they don't give up and they still remain to be very positive and determined. So, parang hindi nila nakikita yung score. Wala silang pressure maglaro. And another point, back to back for Anderson. That's already her 5th point. Of course, our Phil Am here playing in the Philippines, looking for that exposure, and this is really just the perfect stage for her to get the kind of experiences that you can get from, of course, strong teams and different systems all around the world.
Magbanwa now on deck for Coach Ralph, 15 to 20 as Perfect Set is on a run. They'll try with this left side attack. The Dreammakers go back to Anderson. Anderson is hot and the energy is different now in this part of the set. Of course, we love to see Anderson sparking here for Perfect Set Dreammakers, and because of that, Coach Ralph will rally his troops, will try to give different instructions. It's 20 is their score for St. John's Institute, and let's listen in.
Mapa-tapin mo yung blocker, AI mo. No, AI mo. O sige, reset tayo. Focus tayo sa next play. Babawi tayo ng isa, ha? Let's go.
That huddle was powered by Smart Power All 109 Load Now. And on the other hand, si Coach Ralph naman, more of, we have to reset. We have to go back to our play. Kasi they've been doing well naman throughout this first set.
Exactly. You know, what I liked about Coach Ralph is he's so calm and collected na kahit Perfect Set Dreammakers have been performing well and medyo nakakahabol na, he still has confidence in his girls that makakabawi kayo. Just take it one step at a time. Maybe he's just trying to break momentum, and as I say it, a service error coming from Perfect Set Dreammakers.
Manalad has been doing well a while ago in the service line, of course, allowing the team to get this run, but SJI says It's their
Tama
time.
na.
Oh, it's their time not to shine. So Mirasol 21-16.
Which means also Caracelis is in the front line. But another service ace for Mirasol. That's already her third, I think.
Seems like more than
Fourth.
fourth, I think.
Fourth. 4 out of the 6 service aces coming from Mirasol on the service line.
And they love to have her there in that service line, especially as they try to close out this first set. Chase there. Anderson will give a chance. Ball to SJI. And that finds an opening for St. John's Institute Magbanua.
You have to give credit also to that set. Look at that perfect set. Nalito din yung blockers sa timing nila. That was Anderson trying to block Magbanwa.
Mirasol now again. Anderson tries to answer back. That powers through the wall. Attack from the pipe. They slow it down with Anderson. But that will not cross over. And the St. John's Institute sent us to set point with Mirasol still at the service line.
Yung kanina sabi ni Coach Henry, dun sa dulo kasi maliit yung blocker. The blockers are smaller on the other side, but Gerald Diza was able to time that properly.
Set point 24-16. A chase by perfect set. Dreammakers. A bump. St. John's Institute with this combination play. A good up there by perfect set. Anderson tips it over. We'll see what St. John's. Oh, they tried to answer back. What a pancake save though by perfect set. Cross court attack from the middle and Magbanua. Ang ganda ng pinakita ni Magbanua dito sa latter part of this set. Really closing it out as we check out that last sequence once again.
What beautiful timing and just perfect volleyball to seal this set off.
25-16 is our score, and we'll be back with set to action.
Lapit mga katropa, may mga biyayang darating. Ikaw, hindi ka makapili ng platform, pero mahahanap mo naman ang For You. Iba-ibang saya, iba-ibang biyaya. Ikaw, meron ding For You po.
To 16 as we close out that first set, the perfect set. Dreammakers against St. John's Institute. Now in this first set we saw sparks, we also saw moments that needed improvement for both of our squads. Richie, St. John's Institute has been dominant, but we also mentioned that perfect set Dreammakers has also the runs that they need.
You know, it was definitely a better showing for perfect set Dreammakers. Nakahabol pa nga sila come the latter parts of the set, but St. John's Institute just really had that long momentum in the middle that really gave them that comfortable lead. But still, it was such a good matchup with the spikers, especially the basket of points coming from Anderson for perfect set Dreammakers. And of course, we had Mirasol's service aces that really set things apart for both teams. 16-25 was our score for the first set. Now for our set statistics, we have 12 attack points coming from perfect set Dreammakers. So lamang pa sila dito ng tatlo kontra sa St. John's Institute. 1 block for St. John's Institute and 6 service aces for SJI. So that's really what happened in the first set, and we'll see more of course, Anderson in the second set.
Perfect set also giving 9 points from their errors in that last set. They have to minimize that. Anderson Celis is the matchup for today as we see Barbosa going out, Reyes doing great in the floor defense side of perfect set Dreammakers. But as we mentioned of a while ago, we haven't seen Manalad in perfect set. Anderson has been hot. And this set is brought to you by Shakey Super Delivery. Order your favorite thin crust pizza and chicken in Mojo's now. Set 2 action is underway. Best of 3 tayo ngayon. Meaning, if St. John's Institute gets this set, they get this win. So it's crucial there. And it seems like they really want to get that in. What elevation! What power by Celis!
Just the perfect kind of combination play you would want to start out a second set. She also started her first set, actually. So, I think in the latter parts of the first set, medyo nababantayan na rin si Kyra Celes sa depensa at sa block. So this time around, she's really making those adjustments na hindi na siya mababantayan. And here we are again with another easy point from the block. That is Escaltura of St. John's Institute.
Well, Anderson with the first ball over receive. And St. John's Institute on their feet to anticipate that.
I think St. John's Institute for the second set, they're really trying to capitalize on those strong serves to limit the plays that perfect set Dreammakers were making, especially nung humahabol sila ng second set. Exactly. Right on cue.
And they want to maximize Celis and the front line, while as Anderson, one of the tallest players
Is in the back row.
Yes, of perfect set is in the back row right now. So this is, well, SJI knows this is the time for them to really create a run. It's 3-0. Coach Henry Valiente looking on to his troops on the court as that one sails out and will stop that run. Gerald Dizo has been a beast at the service line, aside from Mirasol.
Yeah, exactly. You don't want to give those free points now to perfect set Dreammakers. Now that you know they're capable of catching up and having those long momentums also. Good effort there for Young of SJI, but point will be awarded to perfect set Dreammakers. Score is now 2-3.
Callahan will go back on the service line. Of course, perfect set Dreammakers traveling all the way here from California. Most of them are Phil-Am players, and one of the goals of their program is for their players to gain experience, international experience, and get recruited as well in different ranks. But Celis showing us the bucket and the bag of talents here. She can give strong hits, but she can also adjust mid-air to avoid that double block.
That's what you want. You want that quick decision making. Na-block ako. And pag sinet ulit sa akin, I'm gonna make a way to actually make a point. And it doesn't matter if it's a strong serve or if it's a placement shot or if it's a service ace coming from Kyra Celis. Her 5th point in today's game. Perfect placement. Let's look at that jump serve. Also, such a sharp serve.
Also, she puts up the ball into her shoulder before she puts up the serve with one hand. Medyo aura.
Exactly. When you have a really strong serve, exactly, another service ace. May routine na yan that you have to do it before you serve or else hindi papasok. Minsan may ganong mentality.
Wow, 8 service aces for St. John's Institute. Well, this is the reason why they've been so dominant, especially in set number 1. And perfect set here has to be diligent and reactive as they receive those serves. We'll see.
Exactly. I think they had 11 service aces in their previous game. Tapos ngayon, kakastart lang ng second set. They already have 8.
Good block for a perfect set. A chase there. They'll send it over. St. John's Institute. They go to the left. Down the line. And up. Perfect set makes away, but another free ball for St. John's Institute, and they maximize that opportunity.
Escaltura with a quick attack just to end things up. Let's see that play once again. Perfect reception there from our libero Young. Very textbook volleyball. Every time you deliver that first ball to your setter perfectly.
5-point lead. Acelis will stay hot in this service line. Over receive!
Another point
And
from
look at that.
Team Escultura.
Oh, but our first referee says there is a net touch. And
Touch is called.
a sigh of relief in the perfect set side. Let's check it out in this closer angle. Oh, there it is.
Kitang-kita pag slow motion.
Serving for perfect set.
Pero nakakatawa, sabi niya pa wala. Sabi niya wala. Pero pa...
Oh, Anderson from the back.
No, good quick set and attack, but a block there. Perfect set. Was able to anticipate it. St. John's Institute will give them a free ball as Anderson with this up. Reverse set, but that is too low.
I think too low and too wide also na medyo mahirap na mag-adjust if you're a spiker trying to go for a run 4.
It's 8-3 on our score as we head on over to the first technical timeout of set number 2.
Lapit mga katropa, may mga biyayang darating. Ikaw, hindi ka makapili ng platform, pero mahahanap mo naman ang For You. Iba-ibang saya, iba-ibang biyaya. Ikaw, meron ding For You po.
New Smart Power All. Choose your Unli and your 5 gig app bundle so you can binge, game, or share it all. Plus 10 gig for all apps and 4 gig of 5G data. Power your next side quest with Smart Power All.
We have this 5-point lead. Manalad is looking onto her opponents. Team captain trying to figure out what they need to do to stop this momentum on the St. John's side. Escultura with this serve, and technical timeout does not ice her out.
That is their 9th service ace for today's match. And Escultura has been performing such excellent volleyball. She had 4 points in the first set and already 3 in the second set.
And you mentioned this in the pregame. It is so hard to find a player to highlight for St. John's Institute because all of them contribute in different parts of the board. Look at that single block though. And that's what I'm saying. Magbanwa attacking and also getting a point from that single block. Good timing for her.
Exactly. And it will really challenge your opponent if each and every single one of your players, especially for St. John's Institute, is really contributing their all. And another service ace for St. John's Institute.
Escultura maximizing her time there at parang hindi sila napapagod pag nagsaserve sila eh.
And you know, in volleyball, most coaches will tell you, you have to start with a strong serve because as much as possible, you want to limit any kind of strong return coming from your opponent.
Manalad with that attack. On to the left. And up there. Pipe attack. Anderson with that first ball a while ago. They'll try with Manalad again. It's blocked. Anderson up and over and 2!
Wow. 1-2 play there for perfect set Dreammakers. That is Liao. And you know, she's actually our second setter for perfect set Dreammakers. But every time that she is put in as a substitution, even in their previous games, she has this kind of impact na ang bilis niya mag-perform even coming off from the bench.
Good block there by perfect set. But on the other side though,
Attack point from
they were able to thread the needle for St. John's Institute. Found a way between that gap of that double block.
Exactly. You have to love Mirasol because she is not the tallest of players. You can see that she's one of the shortest ones in St. John's Institute, but her elevation and her approach, it's so aggressive na matatakot ka kahit ito yung height mo, di ba? Because the power is there, but a service error for St. John's Institute.
So Mirasol is actually one of the smallest players in St. John's Institute, standing at 160 cm. But grabe yung mga smaller players sometimes have the higher vertical.
Yeah, they have the highest leaps. It's crazy.
12-5 over on 2. Oh, they take a page. That one worked a while ago, but St. John's Institute able to anticipate that. Liao goes to Anderson, soft touch. They'll try to answer back. And that goes to a perfect set for another point on the board.
Perfect set. Substitution St. John's Institute, number 2 out, number 17, Aileen Yanson in.
So Yanson, Aileen Yanson, actually one of the taller players of St. John's Institute, is now on the floor.
She also had a couple minutes in their previous games and another impact player that really performed well yesterday.
Oh, a chase. But Yanson attacks that right to the net. But it's good that as she went in, binibigyan na siya kaagad ng opportunity.
Exactly. And, you know, it will be up to Geraldizo on giving that confidence back because, of course, coming from the bench, you're cold. You still need to do a little bit of adjustment. So, if I were her, like, I would ask for a set again.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I think they're gonna go back to her.
Exactly.
Oh, there it is.
We predicted it. First point of today's match for Yanson on the open side of the court, cross-court attack. But it hit the blocker's hands, which made it more difficult for the defenders of Perfect Set Dreammakers to read.
So Yanson is here to play this ball 13-7 in the second set. Too strong though for Yanson. But there's actually a very comfortable lead here for St. John's Institute as Perfect Set may be feeling some sort of pressure. This is the last set, if ever, if St. John's Institute gets it, because we are doing a best of 3 for this phase, and that one will go outside. And again, the errors that they're trying to avoid.
You know, as much as possible, you really do not want to give free points to your opponents, especially now that you know that they're capable of having those long runs.
Magbanwa. 14-8. A good effort by Perfect Set. A chase though, hindi sila nakapag-reset in time. And after the touch of the ball, hindi nila na-anticipate saan napupunta yung bola.
Exactly. I think kanina kasi nadedepensahan na rin yung mga palo nitong St. John's Institute girls. So, they're really trying to make way and find those spots na mahihirapan itong Perfect Set Dreammakers.
Oh, adjustment there by Anderson.
The set was a bit wide.
But Celis answers back with a cross-court attack. It's 16-8 on our score. Of course, St. John's Institute with the confidence as they are on top. But Perfect Set here, wanting to extend this match. We'll head on over to our second technical timeout.
New Smart Power All. Choose your Unli and your 5 gig app bundle so you can binge, game, or share it all. Plus 10 gig for all apps and 4 gig of 5G data. Power your next side quest with Smart Power All.
Lapit mga katropa, may mga biyayang darating. Ikaw, hindi ka makapili ng platform, pero mahahanap mo naman ang For You. Iba-ibang saya, iba-ibang biyaya. Ikaw, meron ding For You po.
16-8 as we finish our second technical timeout. Look at the options for St. John's Institute. I'm sure Coach Ralph is proud to see his youngsters really shining in this game and shining throughout the entire tournament. But that service error will give a point to Perfect Set Dreammakers. 16-9 with SJI on top.
Anderson in the back row.
Good up. And good set.
You want to hear that kind of snap when Caracelis actually attacks the ball, and you know that will happen when she has that kind of approach.
That Smart Power Up play was brought to you by the new Smart Power All 109. Load now. Gerald Dizo. 17-9. First ball by Anderson. Anticipated by St. John's Institute. They'll try again in the other side and is able to catch the line.
Not the strongest of attacks, but a perfect one for placement, rather for Baron.
Baron showing her prowess at the end of as we approach the end of this set. But that's gotta give her some confidence now that she was able to attack as well and get a point. 7-point lead. Callahan to serve.
Service ace. That's a first for perfect set Dreammakers, and we want more of those for these girls.
Good placement for Callahan.
You know, as a middle blocker, you know, services can be kind of a struggle point for most middle blockers, but for Callahan, she is pretty consistent on that service deck.
And that one sails out. No touch for the perfect set side. And as you mentioned, Callahan is still here on our service line. And they're slowly inching towards St. John's Institute.
Serving 17.
It's a repeat of the first set. Nakakahabol ba dito ang perfect set Dreammakers?
Oh, a shank that goes outside. And
Another point for
St. John's Institute, kapag nakaamoy na sila ng run, medyo gumigising sila eh.
And Kyra Celis now on deck to serve. So both Anderson and Celis at the back row, but still 3 spikers in front for St. John's Institute.
18-12. Oh, wow! Perfect set, stuck in the mud. Looking at that ball sailed inside.
Timeout, perfect set.
And look at that placement, just finding that open hole for perfect set. And that is the cue for Coach Henry to call this timeout.
So right now, as soon as they contacting, our arms are not even out. Toss goes up, arms out, find angle, dig to area 7, run your offense. Get one pass here.
Coach Henry asking the girls to reset, get one pass here, and that will eventually lead to a run that they're hoping for. That huddle was powered by Smart Power All 109. Load now, 19-12 is our score. SJI looking at taking this home here in the second set, but PSD hoping to extend this one. And if they do, they want to find their first win of this tournament. Celis will continue to serve. What a serve!
Another service ace for Kyra Celis. You know, she only had 2 points in the first set, pero grabe yung composure niya to really adjust what she needed to adjust in the second set, because she's already had 10 points in the second set, and this time she will take a rest.
23 out, number 5, Lexi in.
Chu will go inside to serve this one. 20-12 as SJI is on top.
For St. John's Institute.
St. John's Institute still hasn't experienced a 3-setter actually. They've won in 2 sets.
That's an ace from Lexi
And look at the screens of
Exactly. It doesn't matter who's serving for St. John's Institute. I guess everybody is a strong server. This time, Chu just comes in and immediate impact for her team. A service ace, and her first point, just a celebration, is beautiful.
21-12 as we head on over to this timeout.
Right, middle of the court, run your offense, same thing. If you got it, you got the area 7 jump. Hit. If you want it here, call 3 ball, hit left to right. Here we go.
The huddle was powered by Smart Power All 109. Load now. But look at Baron giving her teammates the energy and the confidence that they need. It is still not over. Volleyball can have a turning point at any point of the match, but SJI, so much confidence, so much composure in this game. Over on 2. It was red here, as well as that block by perfect set. St. John's will try again. Combination play. Oh, and the chase there. Anderson was able to save it, but the ball goes out. It's 22-12 now in our score.
Yanson with her second point in today's game. Actually, kanina sa open siya pumalo, and this time it was a combination play that ended things off for St. John's Institute.
Adriana Escultura is now playing. But that serve catches the net. Service error.
So even though we already have 11 service aces for St. John's Institute, they also have 7 service errors. So that's 7 free points for perfect set Dreammakers too.
Dingab Samantha will serve. Hopefully, she's the spark plug and the magic bunot na kailangan ni Coach Henry dito sa laro na to. Reverse set. And again, that wasn't the most, grabe yung celebration. That wasn't the most powerful attacks. But it was really well placed for St. John's Institute.
Exactly, and that's really how volleyball is. Diba? Bilog ang bola. It doesn't matter if it's the most fancy kind of attack, if it's a cut shot, if it's the kind of attack that will really hammer down. But as long as it touches the floor, that's a point.
23-13, and another error will give perfect set a point here. Rondez is on the court as well. Coach Ralph giving exposure to the lineup of St. John's Institute as team captain Nismud Manalad will serve. Push. Just above the double block. Escultura gives us match point for St. John's Institute.
Match point.
And yung nakakatawa is when they celebrate, it's like they can't believe that they scored the point.
Match point already for St. John's Institute.
Escultura wanting to close this one out, but that one sails right into the net. We have a couple of service errors coming from St. John's Institute at the latter part of this set. And this will be a breath, a sigh of relief as PSD tries to save match point. Barbosa. Chase there. They send it over. Anderson. Oh, that goes outside, and that will give St. John's Institute their third win of this tournament here in the third day of Shakey's Juniors National League action.
Let's give it up for the participants.
St. John's Institute continues to show their dominance here in the Playtime Phil Oil Arena. Well, perfect set. Dreammakers will go back to the drawing board and try to see what they can improve in the short amount of time, because later on we're going to see them again against Arellano University. That is the last game of this day, but St. John's Institute will rest and will go home knowing that they've been showing the great system that they have, courtesy of Coach Ralph here. For the girls in blue, we'll be back for the MVP of the match.
Lapit mga katropa, may mga biyayang darating. Ikaw, hindi ka makapili ng platform, pero mahahanap mo naman ang For You. Iba-ibang saya, iba-ibang biyaya. Ikaw, meron ding For You po.
Logistics. We'll climb mountains and cross oceans to make sure we move your cargo as fast and safe as possible because your cargo is our business. F2 Logistics. Let's move now.
New Smart Power All. Choose your Unli and your 5 gig app bundle so you can binge, game, or share it all. Plus 10 gig for all apps and 4 gig of 5G data. Power your next side quest with Smart Power All.
2026 Shakey Super League National Invitationals 25-16, 25-15 is our score with the St. John's Institute back on top. This MVP of the match is brought to you by Shakey's. Order your favorite thin crust pizza and chicken and mojos now, and we are excited to bring in, of course, one of the contributors of the St. John's Institute. Pero lahat sila actually may mga good moments, but we want to highlight, of course, Karit Escultura here, MVP of the match. Hello! We are, ayan. I know you guys are feeling good and you are in this 3-game winning streak naman. Kapag lumalapit naman yung perfect set, anong nararamdaman nyo? Anong sinasabi ni coach sa inyo?
It feels good to play against other teams from other country po. And syempre taga ibang bansa po sila, nag-a-adjust po kami kasi iba po yung sistema nila. So parang we're grateful po na nakalaban namin sila na taga ibang bansa.
Tama naman, Eds. And grabe yung pinapakita nyo sa tournament na ito. Sino ba yung gusto mong pasalamatan? Yung mga shoutouts mo, you can do it right now.
Shout out po sa family ko here. They're watching here. And my sister in Dubai. Shout out po sa school namin for their unending support. And for my friend Hasley Malyari, shout out po sa iyo.
Ganda ng special shoutout na yan. Thank you so much, Eds. And of course, we're excited to see you more and the rest of the St. John's Institute. Let's check out our Smart Powered Up plays brought to you by Smart's Power All 109. Power up your next side quest and get only TikTok or Facebook calls and text 10 gig for all apps and more. Switch and load now. Of course, we've been saying that there are so many good spots to see for St. John's Institute. The Perfect Set Dreammakers have also created their own runs. St. John's Institute giving errors as well to Perfect Set Dreammakers. In the first set, what did you see, Richie? And in set 2 as well, that really brought St. John's Institute on top.
You know, of course, we have those wonderful service aces coming from Kyra Celis and, of course, also her attacks. But it was really such a basket of points coming from all of the players of St. John's Institute. But, of course, we also had Perfect Set Dreammakers who had a good run in the second set also. Nababantayan na rin nila yung mga palo ng St. John's but really just prevailed high. Etong SJI 15-25 was our final score for set number 2.
And SJI will continue to dominate and stay on top, of course, as we check out the match summary here. Richie, what numbers stand out to you? Look at the aces, though, of St. John's Institute.
Exactly. I think it's attacks and the aces that we are looking at here. We have 23 attack points and 13 service aces contra 14 attacks of Perfect Set Dreammakers and only 1 service ace for Perfect Set Dreammakers as well. So, dun talaga tayo umangat and nakalaban to really pull away from the score and get that comfortable lead.
But of course, the action does not stop there as we end our first match of the day. We look forward to the next one. Pusong Azul against Juan Lasal. Keep it here in the 2026 Shakey's Juniors National Invitationals. We'll be back with more action.